Hi there. Have you ever wondered if all of this is actually real? How do you know that you're not dreaming right now? Or could it be that maybe you're a little character in some giant's game of Sims? Maybe the real you is asleep somewhere or in a coma, and your brain is plugged into a machine that is simulating a real experience with your consciousness. Does any of that really matter? I'm sure you have thought about that, and that's why you've chosen to study this subject. And if you haven't, and that's the first time you've asked yourself some of those big questions, then there's a lot more where that came from in philosophy and ethics. So we've made this little video to try and tell you a bit more about the subject. We're really looking forward to getting to know you and tackling some of these big questions together next year.
In ethics, we like to think about lots of ethical questions. So, for example, would you be happy to steal a loaf of bread if it was going to save your family's life? Or another one you might think of, would you be happy to sacrifice one person in order to save five other people? Or here, standing right next to this wonderful tree, would you be happy to either destroy a whole forest or kill one person? There's so many exciting things and questions to think about in A-level ethics. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Sales and I'm Head of Philosophy at Hazel School, and we are super excited that you're going to come and join us to do your A-level in September. Now with me, you study ethics, and with ethics we look at all the ethical theories, which are really exciting. We look at natural law, utilitarianism, Kant, situation ethics, and what you get to see is how you apply an ethical theory and you get completely different outcomes, so that's fascinating. We also apply ethics to euthanasia and business ethics. So what I would say for now is keep an eye out, keep a record, write down somewhere all the different businesses that have cropped up during lockdown, and make a list of all the ones that have done positive things and all the ones that have done negative things or come out badly from this. And then when we get to business ethics, we can examine and we can have a look at the impact it's had on their profits and their customer base. So we can't wait to have you. It should be really fascinating. I'll pass you on to Mrs. Patterson. Thank you.
Hi everyone, so I'm Mrs. Patterson and I teach the philosophy paper of the A-level. And in philosophy, we look at things like the ancient philosophers, the people who started it all off, people like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. And then we come all the way up to modern philosophers, people who are still alive today and having these big discussions and debates. So the sort of topics we look at are who are we? Do we have a soul? Is there any part of us that will live forever? We talk about the existence of God. So I'll spend half of the year kind of convincing you that God must exist, and the other half of the year I'll tell you that there's no way God can exist if the world is the way it is today. There's some really good things that you could be doing over the summer to prepare yourselves for studying philosophy. And there's a lot of reading that you can do. When you come to Hayesfield, you'll have access to a whole host of books and magazines and journals to do with philosophy and ethics. But there's loads of stuff that you can find online as well. So there's a website called Philosophical Investigations. We recommend that. It's got loads of stuff to do with our syllabus. But there's also some films that you could just get into and look at the philosophical topics in those. So I love the film Inception. That's got loads of stuff about, are we really here? How do we know what's real? The Matrix as well has similar sort of ideas. The Life of Pi is a great one for arguing the existence of God. So why not just put a film on and look for the philosophical concepts in those?
Hi, so the other subject that we study is Buddhism. So what we do, we teach all the ethics of philosophy for 2 years in year 12, and then for year 13 we look at Buddhism. Now, it doesn't matter if you've never looked at Buddhism before, although if you have lots of time this summer, I would recommend doing some general reading because that'll really help you when we come to it. We're very excited about Buddhism. Both me and Steph study Buddhism in our degree courses, and it's a special subject for us, and we've been delighted with how well our students have done studying Buddhism. And we look at the history of Buddhism, we look at Buddhist activists, which is fascinating, and again in this current situation, have a look for the religious people and what they've done, and if they've done anything to make a statement. And I think you'll find some really interesting things, especially last week when we've been looking at people going on marches and peaceful protests. Have a look for the religious people there, and that'd be really helpful. But Buddhism, I think you'll find, is a fascinating topic, and it's so different from all the other religions. It's so similar to things that you look at in philosophy. We hope that you'll really, really enjoy it.
Another reason that we study Buddhism at A-level is because we love being able to learn a bit more about philosophy from a different point of view. A lot of people say that Buddhism is not actually a religion, it's a philosophy. And we get to look at things like meditation and mindfulness and where that really comes from. And of course, we take every opportunity to have a go at doing that sort of thing ourselves. So you will come and join us and you'll learn some mindfulness techniques, some stuff about the history of meditation and how it started. And we do like to try and get away and do a kind of revision retreat at the end of year 13. In the last few years we've done that in school because we've got some lovely grounds that have enabled us to do that. So some of the ways that we do our A-level is that of course we have our normal lessons, and then we will set you some independent reading that you need to complete as well. But we also really value you all having debate and discussion within the lessons. So our lessons are really interactive in the sense that we like you to be able to have an input. So it's important that you've done the reading so then you can come and share your ideas and your opinions on it. We also dedicate 1 hour in the fortnight to a seminar, and that is something that's exclusively run by you as the students. We put you in groups of 2 or 3 so you can get to know your classmates a little bit better. You are then responsible for doing the reading and planning some exercises to get everyone talking about them.